Welcome back to Studio 771. It's Charles Barjon. We have Antasia and Harmony, and we're back with another Uncensored podcast. And this week, we really just want to get back into the topic of sexual assault and how that ties into our social justice work here on campus. Before we left for coronavirus and everything, we had this like massive protest like lined up, and we are going to make ourselves known pretty much during Spring Fest and really call out the school for their, I guess you can say, the blind eye they always tend to turn. And so I just want to reel us back into this conversation. I want to regather our thoughts and just kind of see where you guys are thinking now compared to how we were thinking before we left. Just how has it aged? You're on mute.
Sorry. So during the spring semester, I was actually really excited because I feel like all the plans we had, like the posters we were gonna make, like the statement that we were gonna make, like I was excited because I was like, I feel like it was gonna make a bigger name for us on campus because of like, I feel like sexual assault is kind of like it's a bold topic. Not everybody wants to speak on it, especially at like on college campuses because it's like, it's like kind of risky to speak about.
Right.
I was like kind of excited because we were going to be like, boom, we're here, we're going to talk about it. You're going to have to listen regardless. So,
right.
But right now,
me, honestly, it bothers me how it's risky to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's sad that it is risky to talk about because like people are scared to come forth about it. Nobody wants to put certain people's names out there because they might be on the football team. They might just be, up there on campus. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care what your level or status is on campus. Like,
it's a moral standard. It's like, I can't just let this happen type thing.
Right. So
wrong is wrong.
Right.
I'm just ready, even though like we're all not on campus right now and everything is so remote. I still feel like we can make a voice, especially since we're like really active on social media right now with everything. I feel like we're still gonna make that impact with this topic.
And it's always the worst time. Like this fall semester, freshmen are on campus. Those creepy dudes come back on, even though like they say they're like monitoring everybody at the front. They don't monitor you every single time. There's
like doing that before.
Right. And even with coronavirus, they want to take your temperature and then they see if you have a room key. But people can just show their regular keys, like, oh yeah, I'll go to Southern.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, it's just like before. Campus security, campus police, whatever you want to call them, they pick and choose when they want to be campus, like Southern police or whatever. Some nights it could be like 2:00 in the morning. They may be like, show your ID, or it's just like, I'm in the booth, I have my earpods in. Right. Like, okay.
So. Right.
But a lot of times they always try to like do their jobs at the worst times. Like,
right, the day
let it be a Saturday night, right. Let it be a Saturday night at 2:00. Oh, you can come through, but let it be Sunday afternoon. I'm just trying to get some lunch. Everybody in the car has to have ID. Like, I'm trying to go to church.
Right.
I gotta go all the way to the trunk to get my bag to put my ID out.
Right.
The certain ones, like, really.
And you know what? And right now it's really a problem because they're making people walk around campus. I don't know if you've seen the tweets, but I've seen tweets of them saying, like, so right now they have the back entrance by the apartments, like the 100s, 200s, 300s. That's the only real entrance we can go through because they tore the bridge down in the middle of campus, linking campus and residential. So if you don't have your ID or a key to, like, because it's not even ID based anymore, it's key based. You can't get on campus if you don't have a key to live in like a room somewhere here. So basically, they make people walk all the way back around the other way and come onto campus late at night. And the topic of sexual assault because it's dark. There is no lighting on campus and there's no lighting in the community around the campus. Like Southern and like Scotlandville isn't well lit at all.
And that's always been a problem. I feel like we've been trying to say that like there's no lights in the back of campus.
Right. Even on main campus, like even walking the main campus at night, it's like what?
There's no lights.
Mm-hmm. Or they're flickering.
Right. Yeah. Or they're flickering. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense. And what are your what are your thoughts, Harmony? It's like since spring to now, how have you, I guess, if you have changed a lot, any new ideas?
I even though I'm not on campus, I am at home. Yeah. I'm not on campus, but I am still excited because, like Antasia said, and like you said, it is something that needs to be talked about. Whether it's virtual, or on campus, we can, still get the word out, make sure we get on social media. I think that we could possibly, and it may be hard work, but just like we were going to have the conference, I feel like we can still invite people, to come on and talk. I don't know if we discussed it or not, but I feel like we can, still invite people to come on and talk,
And that's something I want, like, this podcast, and I guess it's like my calling out now on the podcast. It's like, this really is for the people, you can say. It's for the campus. It's for the students. And, like, it's really, I guess you say, disheartening at times when they don't use it to the best of their ability. Like, they can literally come on here and either call people out or call attention to whatever topic they want to. And I really hope this next generation of Jags understands that. Like, they don't have to be silent. There shouldn't be a fear of you calling out your professor, your peers, your friends, or it doesn't matter who it is on campus. You shouldn't have to feel scared. If you don't feel safe on campus, you shouldn't be here. And that's
right. And I honestly just feel like, us as an organization, we have to make that sacrifice to where, if they're scared to call them out, then we have to take the responsibility, and call them out. So they can be like, okay, if they're doing it, then it's okay. I can say what I want to say, like you said, because they do have that fear, I think that we're all capable of doing that, knowing y'all, for the time I have, y'all don't seem like the type that are, scary or, y'all like to go straight forward. So I think that we can do that. And I'm really, really excited because there's so many stories that are unheard and so many people that continue to go through this on a daily basis and no one knows. The campus police, that's not all of that if we just being honest about it. And when it comes to things like that. So I just feel like, it's time. We can't continue to push this back. We need to just go straight forward.
Right. Without a fear of it. And I heard you say you had some sort of facts, Antasia.
Oh, yeah. So I went on the CDC's website earlier, and I just wanted to, sexual assault was like, is the topic right now. I just wanted to say, like, starting out, more than 1 in 3 women have experienced sexual violence involving physical contact in their whole lifetime. 1 in 3 female rape victims have experienced it for the first time between 11 and 17 years old. Every 1 in 8 female rape victims have reported it before the age of 10.
Wow.
Nearly 1 in 4 males have experienced sexual violence involving physical contact. Nearly 1 in every 38 men have experienced or completed or attempted rape during his lifetime. About 1 in 4 male rape victims have experienced it between 11 and 17 years old, and every 1 in 4 male rape victims have also reported it before the age of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, that's really sad. Like,
it shows how now that goes to a different conversation. Now we have to tie in on a global scale, honestly, on a nationwide scale. Why is it that people are always being silent? So you always hear stories of people going to the cops, but then the cops don't even take it seriously. So
I'm not sure if y'all have seen that video that's going around right now of that little girl in the car in the back seat, and she's scared to go back with her mom. Yeah.
I read an article.
Yeah, she's 8 years old. It's a video going around, and she's like screaming and crying and saying, "He touches me, like he touched me in my pants, and you watch him do it to me."
No.
And she's like, "You don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about, blah, blah." And how she had blood in her underwear. She's 8 years old, screaming in a video saying, "I don't want to come back with you. I don't want to come back with you." And the mom is like, "He was just playing," or something like that, like not believing it. And that just really drew me to like, that's why people don't say anything.
Right.
I mean, it's never happened to me, but like, I feel like I would I don't know how I would personally like go about it, but it's just the fact that you don't want to tell somebody something that disheartening that has happened to you, and then they look at you and say, no, that didn't happen. Right. Like, I feel like that would crush your soul. Like, if you're telling someone something that hurts you that bad and has messed you up mentally, and then they look at you in your face and say that didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah, because that takes a lot of courage, you know, to finally build up that courage to be able to tell someone. When you finally do, it's like a slap in the face, you know.
I really just told you like one of my deepest secrets that has been haunting me, and you literally just told me that it didn't happen, or that it was my fault.
And then like the carryover of, they call it in education, they call it adverse childhood effects, you know, and these traumas follow people for their entire lives. They call them nowadays, we call it triggers, you know, and people always, they always see people, they like return back to this childlike state. And it's honestly turning into a nationwide problem. And I don't even know where to start, because where does this come from? Why would you want to silence that? Why would you want to silence that? What's the purpose of silencing that? Wouldn't you want to eradicate that from your community? And it comes back down, I guess, to kind of what it is on our university level. Networking, people who know people.
And that's literally what it is. Because I feel like, especially on campuses, like, I feel like just as it relates to like real life, like outside of campus things, people know people. And if you tell someone like, my manager, like, say if you're telling a parent and they're like, my uncle did this, and they're like, my brother wouldn't do that. I'm not going to throw him under the bus. Like, he has good things coming for him. We're not going to expose this. Just like on campus, say if the star quarterback did something, they're like, hold on.
Right.
We got to win the classic.
Right.
We got to win SWAC this year too.
Right.
We'll talk to him about it. You know, like, it's all, I feel like that's why a lot of people don't
We've seen stuff like that happen just with popular people at this school. So I just want to know what is wrong with you. Like, honestly, at this point, I just want to know what is wrong with people mentally, to where they really value some sort of,
Yeah, it's just like literally just about who you know, because they're not going to want to throw somebody under the bus. They're not going to let you throw somebody under the bus that they know that's going to benefit them.
Right. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's rare that I'm lost for words because I talk, you know, but it's honestly, it's like, how could you put that into words? You know, how do you motivate a bunch of children on a campus to care about each other? You know, and you think that it would be natural, but it's not. So now, what measures could we take to do that on campus? I know I was mentioned the organization My Sister's Keeper, something like that, but I haven't seen a presence. So now I want to know, what would be the next step? Do we need to find these people, or do we need to make our own sort of or kind of like a new organization just within ourselves? What would be, like, what do you think we as a student body would need to do? Because obviously these aides and the schools helplines obviously aren't doing anything.
Me personally, I think that, you know, us as a student body and having so many organizations, I do think that this is an important time to collaborate as much as we can. I feel like once we get all of the organizations on campus to all be on one accord and say, hey, all of us are going to come together and fight for this, and then in our own organizations, we're going to be each responsible for one part. You know, somebody take care of this, another organization take care of this, and we all kind of just accomplish one big picture. I feel like that would be best, because a lot of times, like, you know, some people in high school, when they first come off to college, they're all looking at what's cool, or is it going to look cool if I do this? And, you know, a lot of them are still immature and have that mindset. So it's like, if they see it more in their faces, you know, they're not going to have anything to do but that, you know, once they see so many people doing it. you know. So I do feel like, right. And I feel like we should just all collaborate, you know, and kind of have one big objective to bring more information and to educate more people.
Yeah, I really like that. I feel like if we're all on one accord, especially for like underclassmen, like the freshmen, especially like you said, when they come off to high school and come straight in, like I'm gonna be completely honest. My baby girl, the senior who's about to graduate in December, he does not want you.
Right.
He's 23 years
Correct.
old. He just turned 18 last week. Like it.
And that's so gross. Like that's a child, bro.
Gross, but I feel like some girls, when they come straight out of high school, if they see like, oh, he's a senior, he's about to graduate, he's a grown man. Yes, sis, he's a grown man. You just turned 18. Like,
and that's disgusting.
Don't let I understand like you're in college and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm free, like I'm 18. I get that. Like I get the freshman, like some freshman's mentality, but like don't let that like brainwash you in a way.
Right.
Or like misguide your thoughts, because you being 18, I'm gonna like 100% honest. No, they're looking for one thing. They're 23 years old, about to graduate, and you're a freshman who hasn't even finished freshman seminar yet.
Mm-hmm. Right. Correct.
And they're gonna put out their graduation application.
So,
like, you know, it's not adding up. Like, I don't think they think that way. And my word to the upperclassmen, like, let these freshmen live and like experience a freshman year as a freshman.
Treat them as humans. They're not
objects. Treat them as humans and young women. Like, look at them as like your little sisters, or like,
right.
You know, even for upperclassmen girls, like leave these little 18-year-old freshmen alone.
Right.
Like the boys too, like let them experience freshmen as freshly 18-year-olds going onto campus and living life for the first time. Like, don't try to like, I don't know what the word is, but don't come as them as a grown adults praying after little kids.
Right.
Right.
Just be mentors.
Yeah, be mentors and guide them to where you want them to be. Think of them as your siblings, like big brothers, big sisters, not your
distant cousins.
Yeah, distant cousins. Roll a big family on Southern. Think of it that way.
Right. And I want to share this. Let me see if I can share my screen, because this here, is it sharing? I don't know how to do this. I haven't done this in so long.
You just hit
There it is. You see it?
Yeah.
All right. So the organization, the Restorative Center, the TRC, they use this model called, I just call it the circle, basically. And you can do this in real life. Imagine each of these yellow dots being a person, pretty much. And you sit in a circle, and the circle is a space where, well, let me get it exactly right. I have a picture that explains it, because I don't want to misquote or missay anything, because it's actually a very beautiful way she explained it. So a circle keeper code. So the person who runs the circle is called a circle keeper, right? And these circles are places where you can come and speak freely. You can share anything freely. So in the circle keeper code, it says all are welcome, none may sabotage. It says we are caretakers of a sacred space, which is the circle, being that space. We are experts in form, not substance. We check our agenda at the door. We are energy workers, she says. We do the work and surrender the results. We model authentic presence and easeful listening. We do our shadow work, which means identifying, examining, reclaiming, and releasing these things. We hold space with humility. We have compassion for ourselves and others. And lastly, we seek to be the change we wish to see. And this is the restorativecenter.org, phone number 917-310-1764. And I bring this up because we need to have more spaces at Southern. Say all the organizations at Southern met in a big circle in the library. And everybody spoke freely about who they think they are and what you're doing. Like, hey, I don't think you're doing enough of this. Well, I don't think you're doing enough of that. And they're having honest conversations. But the point isn't to make any rifts. The point is to unify together and work on an actual goal, work on helping each other, bettering ourselves. Iron sharpens iron, diamond sharpens diamond. You know what I mean? So with a model like this, I believe we can have talks about sexual assault and issues of sensitive nature, because in that circle, the conversation stays there. We don't, like say Harmony, you tell a story that's very moving and you only want it to stay in a circle, it stays in that circle. It's like Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So we keep these conversations here, but we're also allowing the conversation to exist, because now when you leave that circle, you're going to leave with new perspectives. You're going to leave with new friends. You're going to leave with new outlooks. You know what I mean? You're going to leave with the sense of, I did something today. And I guess what I'm trying to get to is that the traditional system of running through schools, or the whole point of the restorative center is restorative justice. The whole idea of running straight through the legal system is fading away in this day and age. In an age of Black Lives Matter, in an age where you have, you know, white people, for example, having and setting up marijuana shops and businesses, yet the amount of Black men incarcerated for the use of the plant is like exceedingly high, and they haven't got released, and they haven't been paid for the time they spent in jail, while people are profiting off it now. So restorative justice, restorative circle would say, let's sit in this circle and figure out why, and solutions as to why we can get them justice, because they're not felons. And if they are felons, why are they treated as outcasts when they leave jail? Type thing. So this circle, this model, I feel can be used for this type of sensitive situation, sensitive mode. What are your thoughts on using this model?
I honestly love this. I really like it because I feel like that we could do so much with this. I honestly wish right now COVID wasn't happening.
Right, but that's the beautiful thing about it. You can do it remotely.
See, and I like that too. It's just because I feel like sexual assault is such a sensitive topic to some people, like they don't want to open up about it. I feel like it would be in like such a great way if we were like, you know, in person, and we could ensure that what is said in the circle does not leave.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, like if we were to sit up and like sit in a circle and, sorry, my dog's playing with her toy, but if we were to sit in a circle, like everybody put your phones away, like let this be like a genuine conversation. Because I feel like then we have to find, yes, we can do this remotely, but we have to get people to trust us, to know, like if we are doing this remotely, what I'm saying to you right now through this webcam, it's not going to leave this.
Right.
Because like I said, sexual assault, some of these experiences for people have been like really tough and they have never told anyone. If we want them to share this with us, we want them to feel comfortable, like it's not going to go anywhere else. If it does go somewhere else, it's to help you, not to like, yeah. And I do have this thing, like I joined an organization on campus before, and she did make us sign, like it was a written up thing, like a written up form where whatever we do talk about in the group chat doesn't leave the group chat, you know? Because I'm not sure if there's a way that we can do that as well, because I don't want anything to backlash on us if we were to have this conversation, you know, and have people join us and feel comfortable. I don't want this to
probably wouldn't be recorded meetings. It'd just be meetings.
Yeah, and that's how I would love it. I just don't want that one person to come on a call and just ruin it for us as an org.
And that's what made it so amazing when we had the conference a couple months back, is that we were able to have these circles remotely. Say you have your picture of yourself and you just put your picture or your name on that yellow circle. So, and you know the order the circle goes. So, after Harmony talks, I know I have to talk, type thing. And you just all answer the same question. Like say I post a question like, what is your favorite memory from childhood? And you tell an in-depth story about childhood and why you did this and why you did that, and everybody's laughing together. And then, all right, now it's Harmony's turn. And then she tells her story. But the point is we're all learning something from everybody's story. And that's just the beautiful part of it. And I also wanted to say that from these circles, we tend also to break out into what we call breakout rooms. You know what I mean? So say it's a circle of 15 people. We might break out into like 5 groups of 3 real quick and be like, all right, you go do that, you do that, you do that. We're gonna have these different conversations separately. Then when we come back to the collective circle, we're gonna have some feedback, something to give. And that's the model I want Southern to use, honestly, for conversations about not only sexual assault, but for the purpose of organizations unifying together and actually working. Because what I've noticed, I've been in like a handful of organizations since I've been here, like enough, you know, and what keeps coming up is this conversation of, I want recycling. Hey, well, I want to do this recycling drive. I want to do recycling for a week. I want to do this. But if everybody wants recycling, why not everybody work together? Because we tried going through our mark before. We've done, like, my whole freshman year was about attacking Southern and trying to figure out how to get recycling, and it never happened because it's just that difficult. But if you were to sit in a circle with perhaps all the organizations and Southern, if Southern's in the circle too, it's like, we're just trying to talk in a safe space, not in a space where your student rules and your professional codes matter, because this is apart from you, Southern. You know what I mean? This is a circle, meaning I can say what I want and you can say what you want in a blunt manner and in a very respectful manner. And I don't know, that's probably going to be the future of what justice is. That's why we call restorative justice. And Harmony, I didn't think I heard your thoughts. I tend to overtalk people, so please let me hear you.
No, you're good. And you want to know how I feel about the circle, correct?
Yes.
I think that it's a wonderful idea. I think that it's more passionate and sacred. Like Antasia was saying, how, you know, she wished she was on campus. Like, if, you know, it would be beautiful on campus, even though we do have the option of doing virtual. I think it's a great idea to let people express themselves, express their ideas, and not in a disrespectful manner, you know. Everybody just talking calm, collectively, you know, and it can also be educational because, you know, some people don't have the tendency to look at things from different perspectives, like you were talking about perspectives. And I just think that it can be very educational for some people that are closed-minded to kind of open up their minds and broaden their perspective on things. I think that it's just a great idea altogether. It's a yes for me. So I like it.
Right.
All around.
And it would definitely work. Like, I'm trying to think of, just like you said, with the pandemic. So, and that's something interesting, because we could, no, you can't actually get in Southern University's guidelines. Nobody can, but we can still do it remotely. And maybe that's the step that we need to take. We need to contact these heads of organizations, or just even our peers, or just our org first. Like, everybody in our org just sit and we talk about whatever. And hopefully that will lead to something bigger. Because I always think about what is going to be the footprint that we as upcoming seniors soon are going to leave. What are we going to do to make this Bluff a better place? And I guess not everybody thinks about that, like, in some sense, but that's just who I am. I gotta understand, and how am I gonna better the generations that are gonna come? And that's the best way, because no more should I have 3+ friends telling me about how they've been affected negatively on this campus and are looking to leave. You know what I mean? That's not okay. That's not okay.
Yeah, it's not.
If you can't hold your students and retain people, there's an issue. So.
Right.
Closing statements. Anybody?
I guess just be safe. I guess this is just something that we all need to continue to think about, you know, to kind of get more ideas to actually make this happen. This is something that I, you know, want to see happen. You know, I don't want to just talk about it. You know, we all have some beautiful ideas. I think that it can really become something big, you know, if we just put the work in. Right. So, yeah, that's all I have.
I just feel like this is going to be a good journey for us as an org in bringing up the topic of sexual assault. And whoever is listening, like, trust us with this, because we really do care as people. Like, individually we care, and as an org in total we do, because your voices should be heard on this, and we don't want you to feel scared, like, to speak up. Like, trust us with this, and we're gonna go somewhere with this. So just stay tuned for this.
We're getting your justice.
Yes,
right.
Justice. So stay tuned throughout this semester, and hopefully even into next semester with this topic. Keep listening and watch out for what we do as an org.
Right. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming on today. That was Studio 771 Uncensored. Come back next week.